Hey, what's going on, everybody? So I have gone upstairs and I have written down and cut out all the names of the round one winners from the Hasbro tournament. It looks like we did have 58 advancements into round two. And let's see. 1st Battalion, 38th Infantry out of Fort Benning, Georgia. Basic training. It was a hellhole. Well, the camp was nice, but training itself sucked. So, this will be my hat that I'm going to be using to carry my 58 winners. So, what I'm going to do is simply select the matchups for this video. And I'm probably just going to do it just for this video, just for fun. I don't know, just, goof off a little bit. And then in the next videos, whatever, I'll probably just have them pre-made or whatever. So I'll write down the names of the matchups, and I'll go pick the figures off the shelves. And then in follow-up videos, I already have the figures laid out, as usual. Alright, so I want to mix these in real good, just so that I should have probably crumbled them up or something. Whatever. What's done is done. Alright, so let's see. Our first contestant, Demolition Crush. Alright, Demolition Crush will be squaring off against Animal. Alright, easy enough. Alright, got two here. So, next battle is going to feature Series 4 Bret Hart squaring off against Series 1 Hulk Hogan. Big Boss Man Series 3 is going to square off against the custom version of Brutus Beefcake. That one is going to be the LJN color. I believe that came from Pumpkin Man 1986, Derek. I'm going to try to have 5 matches this video. Got 2 more right here. Also from Derek, the Silver Suit $1 Million Man from Series 1 is going to be taking a square off against Macho Man from Series 3. And the last matchup, alright, it's going to feature Bart Gun squaring off against Undertaker from Series 8. Ooh, that sucks, because that is the rest of these are so-and-so. The last 2 matchups are pretty tough, but this last one in particular, ooh, that's gonna be a gut wrencher. All right, so we have our matches. So I'm going to pause here. I'm going to pull these figures off the shelves, and I will be back in a split second. Alrighty, so we've got our figures pulled, and it's going to be a tough one, but let's dive in, see what we come up with. First match we decided from Series 2 was going to feature Crush of Demolition going up against Animal from Series 4. Now, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Hasbro's tag teams, with the exception of maybe the Rockers, I mean, even the Bushwhackers aesthetically look great. It's just that their stance are really terrible. You gotta always lean up against somebody else. They don't stand on their own. But other than that, they look great. Their poses and all that great. But the Hasbro tag teams are pretty much always really phenomenal figures. And the Legion of Doom figures in general are among the most elite action figures of the entire Hasbro line. But I absolutely love the Demolition figures with the little chaps and straps and everything that they've got going on. Amazing. Crush is only one of a handful of characters to possess 3 or more action figures. And if I'm not mistaken, I think, yep, he does. All 3 of his action figures actually made it into round 2. He has the right extended arm, which isn't bad. I love his face paint. He might actually have my favorite face paint among the 3 Demolition characters. Fighting pose wise, I think this might actually be better, than what Animal gives you. He's got like that LJN Bob Orton backwards hand pose, which I don't like. I mean, that kind of detracts from the figure, so that's a little bit of negatives. But man, the face paint of Animal is among the most elite, and the spikes and the chest plate and everything. This is what I'm talking about. It may have been impossible to kind of do things the way I did with LJN the first 2 times I did that tournament, did those tournaments, by going in order of, the way I had the victors situated. But doing it this way, you're running in the same scenario. You can either find fault because you're basically pairing figures up against each other the way they're sitting on the shelf, or you're find fault because you're pairing them up because you're picking the names out of a hat. One way or the other, you're going to have to eliminate a phenomenal figure very early in competition, and it sucks. And this is what I'm talking about. I've had these difficult decisions with LJN multiple times in my first 2 tournaments, and I'm finding the same situation very difficult here with the Hasbro tournament as well. This is one of those decisions I don't want to make. I simply don't know which way to go. I'm leaning towards Crush. I think pose wise, Crush is more playable, and I think I would get more enjoyment from this figure. But aesthetically, with the spikes and the chest plate, I've just known more about Legion of Doom over my life. So that's something. I mean, face paint wise, they both are incredible. I just don't have enough backstories to really help me with that determination. So I'm really basing this decision strictly on the actual figures. I didn't have any of these figures as a kid. I didn't have no tag teams. I had the Rockers in childhood. That was my only tag team. So I don't have any history with either of these figures. I'm going to go with Animal. Same scenario. You eliminate 1 Crush. You got 2 Crushes left in competition. It's a different figure completely, so it doesn't really count. This is a fantastic figure. I love it. This should have been a 4th rounder, maybe even a 5th rounder, but it sucks. It's a hard choice. I don't want this video to be 35 minutes, and I felt like I would have sat here scratching my head up until like the 15 or 20 minute marker because I really didn't know which way to go. Animal is going to defeat Crush to move on to round 3. So, as we begin round 2, Animal defeats Crush, Series 2. Crush is gone. Animal name gets deposited in the hat full time. I'm just picking up the rest of the papers off the floor. The winners will go into my hat. Next battle is going to feature two of potentially the greatest champions of all time, and it's Hulk Hogan and Bret Hart. I was actually shocked that I selected Hulk Hogan to defeat Macho Man in Series 1. I actually think Macho Man might actually be a better figure than Hulk Hogan. In the end, I think I selected this Hogan figure. One, maybe because I like the clothing. Macho Man not really clothed, and this right here, aesthetically, it gives him a little bit more options for display. Yeah, that's something. Two, I actually had this figure as a kid, so it obviously meant something to me. But in this matchup, I had this figure as a kid as well, and because this figure came later on in life, Series 4, I was a little bit older. I was maybe, I think Series 4 came out in 92. So if this came out in 92, that means I would have been 7 years old. So I was probably still playing with this up until I was probably 9 years old, 10 years old, something like that, maybe. So you're talking about one of, if not the most used action figure I've ever had. And I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Hulk Hogan, this one would have probably had to have been, even though we got the Series 2 Hogan, the Bear Hug one, as kids, I think we still kept using this because who wants to use the Bear Hug? I mean, what use could you get out of that, right? So, two great poses, both aesthetically fantastic pieces, nostalgic reasons. They both mean a world to me. I mean, an older figure, so it's something that I've known longer. I would have had longer. Would have got more enjoyment from. Hulk Hogan's my all-time favorite wrestler, and I don't know. Is that information enough to put him over the top? And when you look at these matchups, especially in the early going, in the first, 2, maybe even first 3 rounds, you got to ask yourself, not only is the figure good enough to defeat the other figure in that particular round, but is that figure good enough to move on to not just the next round, but the subsequent rounds. So is this figure good enough to defeat the next, whoever the competitor might be in the next round or the round after? Likewise, can this one defeat, if this one goes up against a Purple Crush, for example, in the next round, is he good enough to defeat that figure? You got to ask yourself that question, because with the, blind selection, either figure could literally square off against anyone in this battle. So, two fantastic pieces. I honestly, when I pulled these names, I knew the last 2 matches were going to be tough on me. I had no idea that these first couple matches were really going to be this tough, and I don't want to see them go. I think all in all, I have to go with Bret Hart. It only makes sense. Like I said, with the closed hands, better for punching. Yeah, Hogan gives you that atomic drop and everything, but Bret Hart gives you that actual, legitimate, perfect body slam that Hogan just simply can't give you. And you know how much I covet the body slam pose, so... And Bret Hart is about one of the most elite figures in that regard. And I think fighting pose-wise, Series 3 Warrior, maybe Giant Gonzalez, is maybe the closest. But I think the Bret Hart figure is possibly one of the best, if not the best, as far as pose goes. So I have to choose Bret Hart. I hate to see a good figure in Hulk Hogan from Series 1 be disbanded this early, but you can't eliminate a Series 4 Bret Hart this early in competition. So Bret Hart Series 4 defeats Hogan Series 1. Alright, so that goes there, that goes there. Next matchup is going to feature a Series 3 Big Boss Man going against the what I classify as LJN style Brutus Beefcake. So this one comes from Derek, Pumpkin Man 1986 on eBay. This is a Series 1 repaint of Brutus Bart Beefcake. So we already know that Big Boss Man is on my list of top 10. I don't remember where I had him. He was either number 10 or possibly number 8. I think he may have been number 8 on my list of top 10 all-time favorite Hasbro figures. So you know how much I covet this action figure. Brutus Beefcake, he is one of the most customized Hasbro figures. And a lot of times, Series 1 Hasbro, you're going to see them customized like crazy simply because they're so common and so affordable. I mean, are you going to take essentially a $3 to $5 Brutus Beefcake figure to customize from Series 1, or are you going to take a $30 Series 3 Brutus Beefcake to customize? So that's basically what you're looking at. But, you know, he did an absolutely phenomenal job. Here's the thing. When you actually look at the skin tone of the Brutus Beefcake figure, there's not a single mark on him, and I'm wondering if he fixes the skin tone or anything, or if the figures he uses are actually that clean from the get-go. Because I'm pretty sure he can polish up the hair and everything, make that all nice and tight, but obviously getting the gloves up to par, getting the boots nice and spit shine. What he does with the pants and the little mesh openings. This is a fantastic looking figure. I really like this, and I have Brutus Beefcake on many lists of least favorite figures. I have him on my top 10 list of least favorite Hasbros. I have him on my list of all-time least favorite action figures, period. Regardless of who the toy manufacturer is. Galoob, LJN, Original San Francisco. It doesn't matter who and it's not a bad figure. I've said it before. None of the Hasbros, in my opinion, are bad figures. There's obviously figures that I covet more than others. And this, I think it's simply because it's such a common figure and it's a very plain figure. And there's certain features of the figure, such as the little, action that he has that really kind of sucks. And, because, if you want to ship this guy, the way that, his arm bends and everything, you really can't, you can't ship him really because there's always going to be some kind of thing sticking out where it's possible for damage. And of course the hand doesn't really give you a solid punch or whatnot, but it's looking at this figure, like if I were to see this for the first time, I'd really get a lot of pleasure looking at this. Just looking at the original Hasbro, it's like simple, it's nice to have, something that I had as a kid. Nice to have it as an adult again. But this really nice piece. I've said it before, never had anything from Series 3, so I was so glad to have the Boss Man and pretty much everything that you would find in the Series 3. Light years better than what you found in the Series 1. I had Series 1 Boss Man. I always liked it. Even as a kid, I always thought, okay, why is his head so small and his gut so big? But This is a really fantastic piece. All around, head to body is very proportionate. Good stance, good fighting pose, accessory, great look, great colors, detail. Everything is in there with this figure. It's just an all-around fantastic piece. Is a fantastic piece with an awesome accessory. And I have an accessory with this that I include with even with the customs. Is he gonna defeat one of the great customizers? Because Derek, he has an amazing talent when it comes to customizing these Hasbros. Is it the original gonna defeat a custom figure? You think it's easy, but it's not. Derek absolutely ran away with the first round because so many of his figures just pushed forward. I think of all of his figures, maybe one, if I can remember correctly, didn't make it through. And I don't remember which one that was. I am going to go with the Big Boss Man, though. I think this is, again, is he going to win the tournament? I don't know. Seriously, I don't know. Just because I say he's on my list of top 10, I could say he's on my list of top 20 at number 20. It doesn't mean that just because I say he comes in at number 20 out of 20 doesn't mean that he doesn't necessarily wouldn't win this tournament. I've never exactly done a tournament like this, so I never actually sat down and actually took the time to actually review these figures and really, go in depth. So, opinions change over time, and I could come back tomorrow and everything here could be completely different. But Big Boss Man is going to defeat Brutus Beefcake. So Boss Man Series 3 defeats LJN style Brutus. Alright. So, another one from Derek. Pumpkin Man 1986 on eBay is going to be the Series 1 custom of the $1 Million Man. Now, this is not a Series 2. This actually is a Series 3. Don't let the crown confuse you. I do like to put accessories even with the Series 3 figure. I mean, it's the exact same figure. For whatever reason, I don't have the scepter in this one, but he's got the opening for the scepter and stuff. Why not put all the accessories on the Series 3 as well? Again, it's the exact same figure. Actually, I just bought a Series 2 on card Macho Man. So when I do my Hasbro review of all the figures, when I get to Series 3, I'll probably show the Series 2 again on card because, again, you're basically showing the same thing, just just think of it without the crown and scepter. But you'll still see the loose figures, so it'll be fine. So based on a Series 1 $1 Million Man going against a Series 3 or Series 2 Macho Man, pretty much any series Macho Man will easily defeat a Series 1 $1 Million Man. $1 Million Man Series 1, among the three, in my opinion, is my least favorite. But Derek did a great job with the Series 1. He took the black suit, gave it this awesome, kind of like a purple grayish version. And it looks absolutely amazing. Throw on this little custom $1 Million Man belt. And the colors and the detail. And this, I actually have an LJN. And if you guys remember, I actually, in the very first video of my Hasbro tournament, I actually showed that LJN figure to kind of compare to this Hasbro figure. So, is the custom that good to defeat the Macho Man original figure? I don't think so. I mean, I really love the custom. I do think it's an elite figure among the customs. That's there's absolutely no doubt. But I just keep thinking value. And Macho Man, see, if this says Macho King on the back, this is like a $10, $15 figure. Just because it says Macho Man, you're looking at a $50 or $60 figure. And every time I look at these Hasbros or pretty much any figure, all I think of it is the value. And I think about what I paid for them. And I think about what I constantly see them sell for on eBay, or I've recently started buying and selling on Mercari. I finally made my first sale on Mercari, and so I started listing some things on there. I don't want to put like too much stuff on there because I don't. Again, I'm new to Mercari, so I don't want to overwhelm myself with too much things at once, especially if I don't know how well I'm going to do. So this is a great figure. It really is. Macho Man is. It's going to defeat. He's going to defeat the $1 Million Man. I don't want to lose this piece so early. I just can't. I like the $1 Million Man from Series 1. I really do. He's not my favorite version of the $1 Million Man. As you guys know, Series 2 Green Suit is my opinion. It's the one I had as a kid. It's my favorite version. And if not this version of Macho Man, at least Series 1 Macho Man is probably my favorite version. So they're kind of neck and neck. I really haven't made a decision on which one I like better. There's just too much happening with the Series 5 Macho Man. And it has a great pose. The look is fantastic. Macho Man's a great look. It's just a great figure. And again, when I talk about legitimate contenders for favorite figures, this is right there with Crush, Yokozuna, Bret Hart, Undertaker. This has the fighting pose with the legs, the arms. I mean, this is basically another Big Boss Man. If Big Boss Man is on my list of favorites, how can you not have a Macho Man? It's basically the same figure. It's a fantastic look. The only thing that this doesn't have to him is all the extra look that a Boss Man has, all the extra color and whatnot. And that might be the only thing holding him back. But it's a phenomenal figure, and you can't skip this figure over. Not again. I've bypassed so many Macho Man figures already, and it's just a very deserving figure for the next round. So I'm not going to spend too much time on that particular matchup. So I'm going to say Macho Man Series 3 defeats Gray $1 Million Man. Alright, and alright, so Gray is out and Macho Man stays in. Alright, so the last matchup, I haven't gotten a loose one in yet, so I'm still going off the actual card. And it's going to be Bart Gun going against Series 8 of The Undertaker. And the reason I dreaded this matchup so much is because they're not quite the same figure. Bart Gun is more closely resembling Boss Man. And Macho Man, as far as stance is considered. But, like The Undertaker, he's got the right extended arm. Undertaker, here's the reason I covet this figure. You guys already know, but I'm going to hash on it again, because that's what I do. I'm like a soap opera. I always bring up what happened in the previous episodes, so you don't miss anything. I don't actually watch soaps, but my freaking wife back in high school always made me watch Passions with her right after school. I'd come home, or I'd come to her house, and the first thing she'd do is go watch Passions with her mom, and I'm like, man, I come home, or come to your house to watch Passions? Unreal. And it got annoying because it would like always recap days ago what happened. It'd be so frustrating. Ugh. But that's me now. That's exactly what I do. I recap everything that I've talked about already. So, anyways. Recap. Undertaker. Series 4. British Bulldog. Bret Hart. Undertaker. The last set of figures we had as kids. Never had anything after Series 4. And you're talking among Undertaker and especially Bret Hart. Undertaker, Bret Hart, Bulldog. Mostly Undertaker and Bret Hart. The most commonly used figures more than any other figure. It means a lot. We didn't have... I mean, obviously, this is a Series 8. This is the Series 8 dark hair variant. No eyeshadow. So, the Series 4 Undertaker, depending on who's selling it, you go online and you're looking at about a $20 to $45 figure, whereas, the Series 8, you're probably hovering around $75 to $100 for that figure. Now, if you get an original cloak, jacket, whatnot, with an original jacket, you're probably looking at $200 to $300, loose. An original case package, I don't know, on card, $500 to $1,000. Again, does it actually sell for that? I don't know. I've seen those packages stay listed for over a year now, so I don't know if they actually sell. Why do people list them if they don't ever sell for that price? I don't know, but same thing you're going to find with the Series 4. Outside of the lack of eyeshadow and the black hair as opposed to red hair, everything is identical. So, look-wise, this is the figure I covet. This is one of my most coveted figures. And, I kind of, when I started this tournament, I thought, well, shoot, Bret Hart, right? Series 4 Bret Hart. That's what I had as a kid. That's what I used the most. And if Bret Hart doesn't win, maybe not this one, but Series 4 Undertaker would have to win. Makes sense. Well, because I place such a high value on value, you'd have to assume, well, if Series 4 don't win, the Series 8 might. Well, sticking with that mindset, why would a Series 11 that on-card Bart Gun, a $200+ figure, why would I not treasure this more? This is a beautiful looking figure. I absolutely love the little built-on hat accessory, just like what you'd find on Undertaker. Razor Ramon with the same type of vest, little pants and everything. Aesthetically, this is... I couldn't put him on my top 10. Maybe because at that time I didn't have a Bart Gun. But he probably deserved to be there. At the very least, this has got to be a top 15 figure among the Hasbros. Absolutely gorgeous piece. Is he going to defeat Undertaker? I don't know. This is an absolute gut-wrenching one because, again, this is a decision I don't want to make. If this was 5th round, 6th round, I get it, but we're talking the 2nd round elimination for 2 absolutely elite figures. This sucks. There's just no way to say it. It freaking sucks. Everything screams Bart Gun. Yeah. I'm going with Undertaker, guys. I think you guys all knew I was going to Undertaker. I mean, I had to go with Undertaker. You guys probably knew I was going to Undertaker before I knew. It just, to me, it's the right choice. For me, it's the right choice. For everyone else back home, maybe not. I don't know. I guess the comments, you guys let me know if you feel like, what you would have chosen, and at least if you think I made the right choice for myself. I like hearing you guys' opinions and whatnot. It's always fun here, hearing from the viewers. So, well, you know what? I knew at the beginning of this video I said I wasn't gonna, pick the names every single time, but I think I am. That was kind of fun actually. It only takes a moment to sit there and pick 5 names or 10 names, whatever, and it eliminates what, a minute or two of video time, so not a big deal. Well, thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I will talk to you in the next video. Goodbye for now.